Good evening and welcome to the Amaruri TV show. I am your host, Sharon Mohokwani. Today on the Amaruri show, we will be talking about abuse in relationships. And for you, Godi, what was your breaking point and how did you get out?
I remember it was on a Sunday, and I think for some time, Neki pata a way of getting out. Because you know this thing is too much for me. And the baggage na taka yo ne ki pela gore I can't handle this. Ke ngwana ena ke bone gore nka khona go tsase re wa tanga sone. And I remember very well, I went to, I think, that day. I remember I went to one of the malls. I went to one of the malls. I get one of the malls. Actually, because and you know, God, what's wrong? You don't look fine. What's wrong? Kia go kae nka go nka heta ke go ba kwa lapeng mara ke ke tsira ka di computer ke ba ka di computer o tsira ka di computer a ba re nya tsana mo koleng ke tsa melo ene bo gore ke tsana mo koleng ke tsa mala ene wa go ge tampa ka nto gora gore ro ene o kae o go gami ha le go gami o emetse gore ke goroge wherever go ke lente and ha ke goroga yana ke a mmolella gore in fact before ke ya di shopong ke tsa ke re ne re bua mo phone ke mmolella gone gore you know what, I don't want this relationship anymore. I want out. Botsa gore le gore ka gore eng o rileng ka re le motho o siame be ke simola ke re I want out ka gore nga simola o mana nna gore ra ba emela wherever he was aba a ta ke mithera nkemetse ka gore o ithetse ke seo gore ra ke so ba emana gore ro kampa ho wa nkemela and ha ke setse ke tsena ke re ke palamela di stairs yana ke re ke a go godimo. This guy started beating me like I don't know how to explain it. It was so embarrassing. During the day, okay, of course, late evening, but we saw nearly he got no summer. We saw he was hitting me left, right, and center. Hakarabato. Ibilas na sepe horompeza, haka ibilas na sepe hore mangaring kana waring, but he was bataba, hota huntusa, cause never bona hano hore. And everybody was avoiding it. They really wanted to help because they never to an kids. But was a baka ntusaya, Babakua ho, Baleda Bayak, was a and I remember very well and Harikets and Mokoluin because now repeat them hoquaring. If I'm not going to have you, nobody is going to have you. If I'm not going to have you, nobody is going to have you. And how Buama Hokwa answer Guayana continuously wow. One pizza, and I was not allowed to say anything. I was not allowed to cry out for help. I was not allowed to tiba ham pizza, go ham pizza, can hear how tiba line wako pizza, and Kihakolohelwa and Harikets and Mukuling, Hikets and Mukuling, Sansori, you know, kidnap passenger, Sansori and a passenger store. Obata gore ke tsene ka drivers store on tarboa go to go tsena ka ha ke tsena le wa nthagela mo koleng and this person hit me all the way from kone re tswa teng and he drove into the bush ile go rontare this is your last day gore ga nka ka thola bona ke ope ha o kgagana le nna o ntogela I'm not going to allow anyone to have you and I think next is I had given in, or you know what, whatever he's going to do, it's okay, and I'm going to allow him to do whatever he wants to do, because I couldn't cry anymore, I couldn't even feel the pain anymore, because kaha nenga dira ka teng was It was so bad and it was so painful. I remember Romo wa lepodisa bua gore they tried following the car. But ha ba bona ka ha neng a kgweetsa ka teng because na sa eme mo dirobotong a rarela diroboto hera tsana dikoloi ha gara sa kgweetse mo go sa siama ba heletse ba bonela gore e kganye e dingalo. We can't realize it's this young girl. And re tsana go se kgweng go eleng gore gore a re ke gone go ene le gore ke a go bolaiwa teng. And ha re tsena gone go, and it was scary because ne rena kwa di passion killing really common. And I had just accepted, you know what, I'm going to be part of the statistics, and it's okay. Let him do whatever he wants to do, because because you've realized it's not a good place to be, and this person becomes even more violent and more dramatic. What then do you do? The best thing is just to keep quiet and wait for him to do whatever he wants. And we got to the bush, and when we got there, because na ne ke emela his instructions, ne ke bereka ka di-instructions tsa gagwe hena nna ne go sena sepe se nka se dirang a ba nthare ke tswa mo koloing be ke tswa mo koloing bo gora gore o nkgarameletse ga batshe mo bojanyeng hera jo botonatona. Then from there he knelt down and broke down. He cried. Nna ne ke sa tlhole ke sena le dikeledi mo go nna. I just kept quiet. Ke mo lebeletsa a hetsa ha sena go nna lela a bua o mana a emela ya kwa le kwa bua gore ka nta go to motogela ke batla gore ena e kae ke batla gore a reng ka gore ke nna motho ya mo ratileng ke nna motho ya mo rileng. So I was just quiet ke mo reditsa ha sena go nna a hetsa go irela banthare ke tsena mo koloing re tsamaye bo gore gore ke tsena mo koloing. We drove back tsena kwa ke tsena mo lapeng aba tsamaya. And mind you, the following day was work. This incident happened on a Sunday, and the following day I have to be in the office. And what do I say to my supervisor? You know, and it was difficult for me to lie, to say I'm not well, looking at the direki dirang it won't work for me. Let me just go to work. I remember very well I came in the reception. One of my elderly bosses, he's an old man. He just looked at me and he said, Godi, just go back home, come back, my daughter Wendy is fine. That's when I realized that things were really bad. And he asked me, can I take you home? I told him, no, it's fine. I'll just jump into a combi. And he insisted to say, no, I have to take you home. You can't and I remember around lunchtime, this guy came. I don't know how he found out I was home. He came and he started to apologize, to say, and he wanted me to forgive him for what he did, and he continued saying a lot of things. I was face, blue eye, green everywhere. And I never said anything to this guy. He spoke. I was just lying on my bed. And I remember very well that I just decided to go to the pharmacy to look for help because I needed painkillers. I needed something. So, pain. And that was the last time I saw this guy in my house, and that was the last time I saw this guy in my life. And that was the last time I heard from him. And he went forever until the other time. Now he came back to talk to me. After a very, very long time. And I was home for, I think that was on a Monday. I was home for the next 4 days. I went back to work on Monday, and this man continued checking on me, and he had promised me what he won't tell anybody what happened. And because he was like a father figure to me, and he said, you know what, my daughter, just take it easy. I don't want you to tell me anything. I don't want you to say anything to anyone. Like, just deal with this matter. Nna ke taba bolela gore ke nna ke go healing time off. And if anybody wants to know anything, just ask them to call me. If they want anything from you, tell them, we're not the whole week, just stay home and try to recover and put yourself together. And that's how this guy left my life after such a terrible, terrible, terrible incident. Yeah.
Viewers, we are talking about something very interesting, very touching as well, and also heart-wrenching. Don't move, we'll be back after the break. After that very emotional segment, we had to go and freshen up during the break. Welcome back. Muruti, we see a lot of emotions with our guests, but we know that they've already gone through counseling and they've already had time to, express their emotions. What could be going on?
I think what we are seeing here is people who have been in a place of captivity, for lack of a better word, who after the healing they realize what they had allowed themselves to go through. And I believe what is happening right now is as they think about the pain that they were under. Remember, at the time that they were going through this stuff, it was almost like a cloud was covering them. They couldn't really see from outside. It will be very interesting along the way to find out whether there were some people that were dear to them, that loved them, that may have advised them about the relationships that they were in. Usually you will have people who truly care about you, will say, are you sure this is a good person for you? And because they are under this cloud of love or whatever it is, they may not see it. So because I've taken them through counseling, it's been many years already since they have dealt with this issue. I think what we are seeing in their emotion is just the realization of how can they have allowed themselves to be in such a thing. And also, we have invited the Holy Spirit here. Sometimes it's very important that our true emotions show so that the viewer at home can really truly connect to the pain of what is going on. So seeing this for me, it's really a good thing, especially if we want to reach the people out there at home to show the reality of abuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Godi? Like, do you look back and now realize properly and clearly, is it now crystal clear to you what you actually went through, and do you wonder how on earth you allowed yourself to go through that?
100% true. I think what he's saying is reality. You look back and you wonder, how did I manage to stay for such a long time in this toxic relationship? And how did I allow myself to grow, to go through such turmoil and through such pain, and to go through such I don't know how to explain it, but you sit back and you wonder, how did you allow yourself to go through such? Yeah.
And for you, Aizi, do you also think there was like a cloud that was on you? What could have been there that could have, hindered you from seeing clearly?
I would say maybe the cloud is coming from maybe being used to what you are getting from this person, or the relationship that you already have with this person is what you know. So for my part, the emotion is not from a place of pain, like Muruti is saying. It's from a place of saying, hey, I don't believe I've allowed myself to be in this situation for such a very long time. And again, the other thing is being happy that finally I'm able to voice out what I was going through. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Muruti, as they've talked about, their partners, can you further elaborate on what could have been going on in their minds? Because some of the things that they've told us that happened to them, the things that were done unto them, they're unthinkable. It's just incredible to think that someone who says they love someone could do that to another person. Could you elaborate on the thoughts and the thinking of the abuser?
You can see that the abuser has this element of possession and also of control. They really, really want to control their victim, for lack of a better word. If I listen to what Waiti is saying, there's something very interesting that she said that seems to make me wonder whether there may be a connection. She talks about how her abuser used to be very, very angry. I mean, what she just told us about how he kicked her and, pushed her just because the father of her daughter greeted them. They were a group of people, and he wasn't really speaking to her per se, but he greeted, and everyone just greeted back. Just seeing that infuriated him. And when I look at that, I wonder, maybe she can tell us whether these two knew each other, whether they could have been a desire, some score to settle, or a desire to say, I can have what you wanted or what you had. Or there's something very interesting there, because from what she said, every time the father of her daughter was there, this guy will just be extreme. And so I think there may have been something there to do with getting back to the father of her daughter. And with Godi, it seems the guy, I mean, her story is very painful about what happened in the bush there. And the fact that he started crying, you can see that this is somebody who really has serious issues that are going on inside. And he may have seen something wonderful in Godi, like here is some innocent girl who is a potential to be a wife, who is too good. And here I am, I'm not too good for her. I'm afraid I may lose her at any time. So what do I do? How can I control her? How can I keep her? And I think that's why in her story that was quite emotional and dramatic, when she told him that she wanted out, he just went crazy. I mean, one of the things that she said, the car, the way it was driving, it was just madness, temporary madness, without any regard for traffic lights whatsoever, just going through. So I think in both of them, and I think generally with abusers, there is some issues that they themselves need to deal with. And no matter how good their partner may be, those issues are real for them and they are fighting within. There's something in Romans chapter 7, from verse 15 to 25, it says, the good I want to do, I do not do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. I think why it's also, Elia said that the man that she was with sometimes will kneel down and pray and say, you have given me a good woman, please. So you see that there's something that is going on there. Yes. Yeah.
No, it will be very interesting to continue, just find out about this, thrilling and very captivating story that you are telling. So viewers at home, don't go away. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the Amaruri Show, where we are talking about a gripping and captivating subject of abuse in relationships. Muruti, how can society, rescue people who are in such relationships and who feel stuck? What can society's contribution be?
I think it's very important for us to have a very open society where people can discuss their issues without being judged. And I think in Botswana, although the government is trying with social workers and different, I think it's still not good enough. We need more institutions where people can go to. We know we have women's shelter. They are doing their best there, but I think they are overwhelmed. I think one of the biggest problems that people have, if I go and speak out, what does it mean to me? Am I going to lose my benefits? Am I going to lose my home? Those kind of things, they are a big thing. So if within our society there were places where people can really run to and they know they will be safe in all the different aspects, emotionally, socially, spiritually, it will really, really help. But those are institutions. But I think churches can also play a huge role in making sure that people who have been abused or who are going through a lot of difficult things can go in there and find real help. And so I think just an openness and maybe things like this, talk shows like this, where these things are brought into the open and it is very, very clear what harm they can do, can also help in making people aware that they really need to talk about these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
White, how did you see the abuse, affecting the person that you became? Did it change you in any way?
Years after breaking up with him, I'd find myself maybe late at night, 2 a.m., 1 a.m., waking up at night to cry and thinking about how I can really be free of these emotions that were all, I didn't know how to place all those emotions. And I then became a home person. I didn't like going out anymore because during the relationship with him, we would go out a lot. So I didn't like going out anymore. And then again, I was too sensitive to signs of abuse. For example, if somebody would maybe innocently ask me to make them a cup of tea, if it's a man, I'd really not take it well. I'd ask them why they are not making themselves that cup of tea. Why are they choosing me? Don't they have hands? All those things. So yeah, that's how it
affected you. And you, Cody?
It really did a lot of harm than good. Mainly lack of trust. It's illegal lack of trust, which took me a long time to recover from, and I'm still getting there. For me to get into my next relationship and to accept the next person, it really took all the energy and dilo tse dintsi gore ke kgone go bona gore motho wa nthatayo ka gore a ke re ne ke toa go te ke a ratiwa before, but ditiro tse ne di dirwa mo go nna ne di le bothoko. So ne ke ipotsa gore a mme o bolelela ruri kana o tshwana hela le ene yole. Yaanong wa bona gore abuse e kgona go dira gore o gobokanye kore nna tamatibo di santse dingwe le ha motho ata tota with a good motive. And the other thing that it did was isolation. I thought it was good for me to be alone because ne ke batla my own space where I can do my own things. Because ne ke na le motho ene gore was very controlling. So yaanong ke bona gore you know what, I lost nako ya me ntsi. Ke na le motho a ntaolela gore dira se dira jana gata yana apara jana. But yaanong ke ne ke batla nako ene gore ke nosi. And isolation le one kana it has got its own.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. It has got its own cons and because you are taken away from batho ba ba ratang ka gore you keep most of the time alone. Even if people try to come in to embrace you, to show you some love, you still have those walls around you. Like, and now I had a thick walls and tall wall, very high walls around me to come through. But at the same time, I'll always show this brave face. I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of insomnia, a lack of appetite. And it brought a lot of setbacks and yeah.
So how did you then, step out to look for healing? How did your healing process start?
Maybe before you get there, I think we must just pick a few things. You hear isolation, you hear independence. Yeah. And I think it's very important for us to understand that God made us to exist within relationships. Relationships are very, very critical, very important. We cannot be islands. And so one of the strategies of the enemies when people do bad things to you is to try and isolate you, to keep you out of relationships. And it's almost like lions when they are hunting zebras. The one they want to pick, they separate it from the rest so that they can kill it. And when you are isolated and you are alone, your friend becomes your negative thoughts. And those negative thoughts could be depression, it could be suicide, just the joy of life. She used to go out a lot, and now she's not going out. What does that mean for her social life? So these are real things. And any independent spirit is a very bad spirit, because usually an independent spirit is against everyone. And so when others go this way, they go the other way. And that still affects their social life. Although God never meant for us to live in isolation.
Yes. And God, you spoke about insomnia and anxiety. Did you seek any medical help for that?
I did seek medical help after that, but I only realized, the truth was, I think I knew why I couldn't sleep. Because sleeping was reminding me of the incidents. I get picture what happened. So I think it was a protection mechanism for me not to sleep, because it takes me back to the events. So I was it was a way of trying to avoid going back there. Yes. So the other thing was I had avoided watching any violent, either movie, dramas, anything violence, because I saw myself most of the time in that. Yeah. So seeking help, I think because even I wouldn't go there. Yes. Yeah.
So you did take some medication for some time?
I did take some medication for some time, yes. Which I'm not sure whether did it work or not. Yeah. Because when I think I knew why.
So she was severely traumatized.
Yeah, it's severe trauma, because the symptoms sound exactly like post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. Yes. We're going to continue after the break talking about their healing process and what transpired during the healing process. Join us again after the break. Welcome back to the Amaruri Show, where we are talking about abuse in relationships. Waiti, Muruti said earlier that there could have been a connection between the father of your child and your boyfriend, if I can call him that. Yeah. Is that true? Was there any connection between them?
There was a connection. I would say they were just acquaintances, because I remember that before I dated this guy, we had gone to some place, and then he started talking some bad things, saying some bad things about the father to my daughter. I don't know whether he knew whether I had a daughter with him or not. So he started saying some bad things, and I started defending the father to my daughter. And he was wondering why I was so defensive about that, because during the argument, I told him that you don't say bad things about somebody who is the father to my child, so I'm going to defend him. And I don't know whether that set me up for him now coming coming after me to propose me to be his girlfriend. I don't know whether there was a connection there, but since every time we would see him, the father to my daughter, every time we would see him, it would trigger some anger in him. So I think somehow, yeah, there was something connected there.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very interesting there, because if you look at the possessiveness, I mean, we heard her earlier, talking about how he will stay in a hotel while she's home and be there every morning, and kind of just watching over her, how he will go to school, pick her up and come. So that kind of being there all the time, you'll really wonder whether it was really about him loving her, or it was just about him getting back to the father of her daughter and trying to make sure that somehow, I don't know, we men have got our own egos. So he may have wanted to prove that he could have what he had for whatever reason. So I'm afraid that maybe Waitsi could have been a victim of something that was not just about her, but about somebody else. Somebody trying to get someone else through her. And you know, so it's a very interesting.
Yes. Yeah. It's a tricky scenario. Yeah. Yes. Ladies, when did you eventually seek healing? How did your healing process start from this abuse, Godi?
Yeah, hey, it took forever to come through. I think mine came after I sat under the teachings of the life training school, which I saw its main objective is to teach you about the love of the Father or the love of God, though it has got different aspects of life. You know, I saw myself in there, or I looked at my life and I wondered, or having gone through so I started it was very difficult for me to take a step because niggas had trust, but somehow I was drawn to him, and you know I started, you know, warming up to him, and I saw he was approachable. Remember, I was through abuse here, but with him he was very approachable, so it made it very easy for me. I remember the other time I'm ATM, you have to come and see me. And then I'm not going there. I'm not going to see him. But after, but when I could tell he was doing a very good job and staying under his teachings on the life training school, and the teachings that oh, the process is very intense. You know, nobody wants to visit the events, more especially painful past. Nobody wants to go there, but I was forced to go back there, and I went through the counseling with him, and I was able to open up to him because it was very difficult. I don't know if it's difficult, or I don't know the supernatural power that will be there. You know, God just allows you to open up, maybe because of the way he approaches things, or because of the way he ministers through counseling. And I was able to open up to him. He was the very first person I managed to open up to him after a very long time. We went through exercises, talking. Sometimes so hold a deal, how to go you how to allow her some who trigger us some wasads or trigger us some wasads. Process I think it's a lebaka tota in the re home for me hoela and and I remember the final day elong and I saw God at work. Ke confess remember I had that guiltiness maybe I allowed myself to be there and I was blaming myself. I like you confess with my mouth then from there he like follow up in a prayer he was leading me the person now release, and from there he prayed with me, and this is just amazing. It blew my mind. I think I'll never forget this in my life, and that's what really made me believe, you know what, there is God in heaven. And I remember Harry had a counseling. Hella, the very day I released that man, the very day I decided in my heart, you know what, I'm going to forgive this guy. Counseling. After years and years and years, this guy calls me. And hella hello, Godi. Whatever pain I've put you through, everything that I've done to you, I'm on my knees. Can you please forgive me? You know, I smiled on the other side, and my answer was, I have forgiven you. Yeah. And I said it from the bottom of my heart. I told him that, you know what, I had forgiven you. He couldn't believe it. And just came like, you know what, I have forgiven you. And I have really released you from my heart. And one thing that I learned was that forgiveness, you don't need the other party to be there. You decide on your own. That's one thing that I've learned in my life. For forgiveness, you don't need the other person to be there to say, you know what, if you decide in your heart that, you know what, I'm going to release this person, believe you me, you're going to be free. Yes. Because how sad is really? This person controls your life. Aluko, you've like you move on. But that very thing really changed my life forever. Today you speak forgiveness to me is like just water coming from the tap. I forgive so easily. If I could forgive somebody who nearly killed me, remember, why can't I forgive my brother? Why can't I forgive my sister? And guess what? After 2 days I meet this guy. How many years haven't I seen this guy? And after two days I meet this guy, go Pick and Pay, he offered to carry my plastic bags to the car. And we were just chatting, and this guy was like, what kind of a person are you? And in my heart I said, you know what, God, there is nobody like you. And I thank you, and I thank you, and I thank you.
Yeah,
And that's
wow,
how it came
that's
about.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really divine,
So divine.
encounter that happened.
So divine.
Yes. We can't wait to hear about Waiti's story of forgiveness and what transpired during her process. Don't go away. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the show. Before we went to the break, I said we would go to Waiti's healing process. But before that, Godi spoke about something very interesting, which is, the perpetrator calling her, after many, many years, after she had freed him in her heart. What could the cause of that be, Muruti?
You see, we are spiritual beings. There's a whole world that we cannot see that influences everything that we do. There are, you see, like earlier, Godi was talking about the wall that she had built. It's an invisible wall, but that wall is real for her. It's something that she's aware of, although we may not see it. So when you forgive, the walls that separated you from certain people that could not allow them to come through, they fall spiritually. And when those walls fall spiritually, somehow, because we are spiritual beings, the other side can get the message. And also, remember, there are also demonic forces that actually work very hard to separate people. So when you forgive, you actually destroy the strongholds of even those spirits. So the walls fall down. And when the walls fall down, somebody who's on the other side, who this invisible wall could not allow them to communicate, suddenly they find the edge or the courage to just realize what they have done and want to make some form of contact and just to find out. Because when you hurt another person, it's something that eats you up. And when you can gather the courage to do it, and usually when the wall has fallen, that is the time that comes. And that's why in her case, she told me after she talked to the guy, I think it had been about 2 minutes when the call came after we finished our session. And to think that this guy hadn't called for many years, and that same week they met face. Was it arranged?
No.
Waiti, what happened through your healing process? How did you start your healing process?
Okay, my healing process started before I started counseling with Muruti. I tried to seek professional help because I went to see some doctor and tried to talk to this doctor. She was a doctor and then a counselor as well. And then I tried to speak to her about what I was going through and all that. And I realized it wasn't helping. I would go back and start crying again at night and all those things. And then when Muruti came to our church, I think I should mention that earlier on in the show, I mentioned that I grew up in church. And then later in life, then I decided to just leave church, and that's when all this drama started. Then when all these things would go on, I would still remember that, Kaname, this is not the life that you know. This is not the life that you know. And then eventually I went back to church. When I went back to church, a year later, Muruti came to the church that I went to. And then when he came, he started teaching this LTS, Life Training School. So in this LTS, he would talk about matters of the heart. He would teach about brokenness and all those. And I would see myself every time he spoke. And at one point, he mentioned that he also counsels those who are willing. And then I decided to make an appointment with him. When I went for counseling, I wasn't free because I didn't know what to expect. Go counseling room. So when I got there, I saw this man who who would listen with so much interest and without judging you. I would say a lot of things, a lot of deep things that I wouldn't even tell maybe my parents. Then as a Frau, okay, so I started relaxing and releasing a lot of things, telling him a lot of things that were going on, and I started now going through the exercise that Godi was talking about. He would give you a paper where you would write stuff that happened to you. He would take you back to maybe when you were still young, or when I was this age, this and this happened to me, and this is how I reacted and all that. And I took that assignment and did it. And as I did the assignment, I realized many things were coming out. It wasn't maybe only about this abuse, it was other things as well. But at that moment, I was trying to address the abuse part. And Muruti would talk to me, take me through counseling, and then talk to me about forgiveness. Then I decided in my heart that, okay, then I need to release this man from my heart. I need to forgive him, so that forgive him for me, not for him.
Yeah.
Because I was the one who was suffering. I was the one who was carrying him in my heart, in my mind all the time about the things that he had done. So I decided to just release him, forgive him, and live my life. And after I decided to forgive, I realized that a lot of weight was taken from me, and then I stopped crying at night. Then the healing is still ongoing, because recently I surprised myself during counseling again when I had to talk to him and other things came up again. Then I realized, okay, this thing is just a process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how my healing came.
Like she's saying, it's a process, and this process, I can say, it needs your willingness also. If you really want to be open your heart for it. And one thing that I can assure our viewers at home is that when you go through this process, confidentiality, you just know your things are very confident. They won't be shared with anybody. It's just between you and your counselor. And also it's different in a way that I think because God is involved in it. Like you were saying, some things are spiritual. And at times we live this life thinking, only to learn, like what you were saying. You go back and you learn how do it didn't see and it's part of the journey. Only to learn later. Or sometimes we are what we are because of not knowing but God wants, He loves us, He wants the best for us, He wants all good to happen to us.
Yes. Muruti, maybe just before we go on a break, can you just highlight or indicate, how long does it take for someone to be on the road to wholeness?
Oh, there's no time that I can say is set for everyone. Everyone is very different. It depends on how willing they are to go through the process, how deep they need it to be, and also the issues that they have gone through. Some people, I've counseled them for a few months, others many, many years. So it's really very different for each person.
Okay. Before we end the show, we are going to go on one last break. And when we come back, our guests and Muruti are going to encourage everyone, who could be going through what they have gone through. Stay tuned and don't go away. Welcome back to the show. We are on our last segment, and I really want you to encourage people who are at home. We know that this is an ongoing problem in different countries. There's a lot of gender-based violence. Godi, how would you encourage someone at home who is in a situation like you and they are unable to get out?
What I can say is that it is possible. It is very possible to get out. One thing that I know when you are in an abusive relationship is that the first question that comes to your mind is how am I going to make it without this person? But one thing that I can say to them is that it's very possible to make it without those people. It is very, very, very possible to make it without them. And one thing that I can say is that it's good to seek help. Look for somebody that you can be able to talk to. somebody that you trust. I know trust is a bit of a challenge when you're in an abusive relationship, but look for somebody that you can open up to, or somebody that you can whisper something to assist you. We've got people like who are willing and who have availed themselves to the society or to the community, you know, to offer their services for free. You know, this man, when he serves you like you are the only person in this world. So, you know, they have that time to listen to you. They have that time to take you through it all. So I can encourage them that, you know what, there's no need for you to sit in a relationship alone where you are going to suffer all your life. You are going to miss the good part of your life. You have somebody, you know, God loves us and He wants the best for us. And, you know, He cares about our lives. Sometimes you sit there and you wonder, if all these things are happening to me, where is God? He is there. He's watching. He sees. And He still loves you. He still cares. So the best thing, or the most thing that I can say, or the most powerful that I can say, is that it is possible. Tough as it may be, it is very, very possible to come out.
Yes, Waiti?
Yes, to the viewers at home, I'd say, when you find yourself in a relationship like that, first of all, don't ignore the red lights. When you see tiny bits of abuse, especially when somebody separates you from the people that you love, they always want to occupy your space. Know that something is not right. And when you find that you are, for lack of a better word, you can't breathe, they're just too much into your space, you need to take time to reflect and ask yourself, what is happening? What is this? If things are too good to be true, also look for signs like that, and then ask yourself, what am I into? And when your friends or your relatives or somebody who is close to you, when they speak to you, also listen. Behind jealousy, take time to reflect. Why are they saying this? For like now, there was a time her relationship is small. We were at a parking parking lot. This person was parking, and the guy I was dating on our park, and then somebody took parking spot there. And I exploded. I was with my friends, and one of my friends said, "Mutho one day the way I explode and getting, and because I was just into that,
You're just smitten.
Yeah, I was smitten, and then I didn't listen. I never forget that voice here. One day this person is going to beat you. So to the viewers at home, I'd say, look for signs like that and speak out to someone. Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, I'm raising a daughter, a girl child. So part of the reason I came out of this was because I wondered, if you are in an abusive relationship, I wouldn't hella. So I didn't want that for her. So for her sake, for my sake. Yes.
Yeah, which is very important.
Yeah, love does not hurt. Love does not hurt. If somebody says wa go rata, aba boa gape ya go dira so se bothoko, so seo ga se lerato seo. Like wa itsa bua lebelela di red flags ga se go ndere sa di bone ne re di bona mme hela o no ipolelela gore ke ka go tshwanetseng gore go nne ka teng mme hela se salang ke gone gore ha ile gore mo seemong se sentseng jalo ako o pause o bo lebelela gore is that the kind of life you want? If you are raising kids, not only girls, even boys, lebelela gore a mme ke ka helong gore bata bana ba gago ka moso le bone ba tsoga ba tshela go ntse jalo ha o sa batla gore go nne yalo, the best thing ke gore o tseye kgato nako e santse ile teng gore o to kgone gore o thusege. Lebaka la gore rona be re kgona go bua le batho ke gone gore re bone thuso ebile re dumela gore wa kgona go tswa mo seemong se sentseng jalo o kgona gore botshelo bo tswelele hela go na le ha o ka simololang teng botshelo bo a tswelela motho ga se ene kore is not has mo botshelong ja go, it doesn't necessarily mean gore that's the end of your life. We are here, it's been years re ntse re dileng batshelong ga batho ba mme ke rona ba re ntse re tsweletse le botshelo ra go pele. so mogedi ko gae hela o tshwantse gore a gakologelwe gone gore go na le batho kwa ntle ba ene gore ba ka re thusa ebile a itse hela gore seemo sa le mo go sone ga re sa mo siamela a gona motho o ka tangera a bona mollo helana a ba tsena mo gone kana a bona magala ba gata ka dinao tsa gago wa a thiboga so ke batla go itse hela gore ke rata gore ba itse hela gore le bone magala ba ka potologa ba thiboga mme ebile ba bona thuso.
You must check that and say, what is this? Who is this person who is so angry? Is this anger not going to be directed at me? So people are who they are. Yes, they may choose to be nice and all of that. You know how relationships start. Everyone is the best, but with time you then realize who they are. So when you see those signs from different places, may you take note of them, and maybe you start taking steps to make sure that you don't allow anyone to ever go into that space. So let us be vigilant, let us seek help like they have encouraged us.
Thank you so much, Ruti. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for being brave, for being bold and coming out. We really need this. So many women out there needed to hear this. And as we end, our viewers, I just want to read shortly from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which speaks about love. It says that love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, and it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, and it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. If you are in a love relationship, this is what love should be. Keep well, stay safe. See you again next time.